Dudes, what's up? Yeah, so I guess I am going to make an attempt to start up some podcasts every now and then. Um, it's been a very long time since my last couple. I think I did like 3 episodes before. Well, I did the one that was by myself, then I did Modern, and then my buddy Underdog. Then was that it? I think that was it. So like 3 episodes. And then I just kind of stopped. Honestly, freaking streaming and stuff just kind of got in the way. Last year was insane. And this year so far has been insane. And I just really haven't found the time. But I think I'm going to try to take at least like 2 days off every month. And maybe on those days off, I can kind of sit and just shoot the shit. So for the podcast now, I think I'm probably going to have some people on to have conversations with at some point. But I really want to put a focus on these just being a solo podcast where I just kind of let off some thoughts. I don't want these to be scripted, anything like that. It's just maybe, twice a month or maybe more if I get some time where I just sort of talk about what's going on in my life, tell some stories, go with the flow of conversation, and then we're going to end every single episode with questions. So I've been posting on Twitter and stuff. If you have any questions for me, literally anything, does not have to be gaming related. I know most of my audience is gaming related, but it could be pretty much about anything. So anything that you want to hear about. So we'll look at those questions at the end. I don't want to look at them before. I'd like to get some, on the spot answers from me because I think those are the most true. But I will say what I've said before. I have really bad allergies all the time, and I really do apologize. Pretty much allergic to fucking, I don't know, air at this point. So I always have a stuffy nose. I do take over-the-counter medicine for it. But fuck, it's annoying, man. And it's crazy because I never had allergies in my whole life growing up. My mom was like, get the cat out of here, get the dog out of here. I'm allergic, and she would be allergic to this and allergic to the seasons and allergic to fucking. I'd look at her and she'd be like allergic to my stare, and I'm like, God damn, Mom, what the fuck is good? So I moved to DC, and I was fine. I had no allergies. Never had nose problems. And then all of a sudden I was like, I started like sniffing a lot. Like I do now. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And because I was sniffing, my tongue started getting coated with this like yellow stuff. And I didn't know what it was. So I was working pharmaceutical sales at the time. This was Washington, D.C. This was 2 years after I graduated college, I want to say 1 or 2 years, because I did when I came out of college, I got a sales job for an insurance company, and then I also was working at a high class like French American cuisine restaurant, which I obviously left to get a pharmaceutical sales job, move away from my entire family down in Pennsylvania. And I started getting allergies when I moved to the city. And I was like talking to people. I'm like, what's going on? Is this normal? And they were like, actually, a lot of people do get allergies when they come to this area, just, living directly in a new city. But anyway, I mean, that's a story in itself that I'm not going to tell now. But I had business cards, and I would take these business cards every time I was done a visit in a doctor, and I would scrape the yellow stuff off of my tongue. I would literally take the card and look in my rearview mirror and be like, I just scrape all this disgusting yellow stuff off my tongue, and then I had this like allergy bag. Well, I didn't know it was an allergy bag at the time because I didn't know what it was. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with my tongue? So I went to one of my doctors, and I sat down with one of my doctors, and I was like, hey doc, what is this on my tongue? And he was like, oh dude, that's post-nasal drip. And I was like, what the fuck is, like, what is post-nasal drip? What does that mean? Like, I know what that is, but what does that mean? Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And he's like, it just means you have allergies. And I'm like, are you serious? You're telling me all that shit that I was talking to my mom, now I'm that dude. And I was like, what? I was like 22 at the time, 23. Like I was still like very young. And he's like, yeah. So that was when I found out I had allergies, and he was just like, hey, you can get over-the-counter medications, and I get them, and they kind of work, but they don't really work. And I should probably be taking a lot more precautions. I should probably get a humidifier, which I don't have, which people have told me to get multiple times. I probably could be using like those freaking kettle nose cleaning things. And the funny thing about it too is medications that I sold were respiratory. So I sold COPD, or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease medications. I sold asthma medications, and I sold medications for like allergies, like seasonal allergies or chronic allergies. So it was pretty funny because I really had the medications for it. So I would take samples that I had, and I would, test them out to see if they worked on me. And, they work to an extent, but I'm just fucking lazy. It's the same thing with like contacts. Like I need contacts. My eyes aren't the best at distances. My eyes suck at nighttime. I should wear contacts. I tried them. I hated putting them in. I slowly stopped putting them in, and now I just never put them in. And I think I know why I have bad eyesight at night. I think I do. You're going to laugh at me, and I've told this story before, but I think it's from all the tanning I used to do in college, college too, but mainly high school. So when I was in high school, I was very much into working out all the time, and just basically I just cared a lot about my physical appearance. Like, I took care of my skin. I always did my hair. I wore nice clothes. I was always trying to like impress chicks. I would go tanning all the time. And I just always stayed like fit, tan, and clean looking. And I would never wear the eye things because I thought the eye things would put circles around your eyes. So I didn't wear them. And I think it fucked my eyes. I think all that fucking, those rays go right through your eyelids. And I did a little research, and it can actually decrease your nighttime vision. So, kids, I'm not saying don't go tanning, whatever. Fucking anytime you go tanning, it's probably not the best thing for you if you're going to do it like crazy. But I would wear eye protection because you don't want to be like me and have shitty nighttime vision when you're like fucking 20 years old, which is, definitely what I had. But yeah, I mean, point of the story was, if you hear me sniff, which you're going to multiple times, I'm so sorry. People always say, like, they always make cocaine jokes and all that shit. And I'm like, dog, I have fucking allergies, man. I just constantly feel this dripping of like liquid in my nose, and I have to sniff it back up, or it'll literally run out of my nose. I have a runny nose all the time. So unfortunate. Unfucking fortunate. But fuck, man, it is getting really nice out, finally. I'm starting to go outside in like shorts and a t-shirt and not have to test the weather first. A lot of times I'll like open my door and I'll sort of stick half of my body out, or stick my, just step out for a second and say, yeah, need a fucking sweatshirt. I'm going to go back inside and wrap myself up, or wrap myself like a fucking mummy, because it's Colorado, which is where I live now, and the weather here is pretty, you could call it like bipolar as fuck. This year was so weird because we had fall, and then, or no. We had summer, and then summer completely skipped fall. This was, I forget what month, and your typical like September, October, completely skipped fall, and we went right to like freezing fucking rain, ice all over the place. Like, dude, it was insane. It was literally so fucking cold, like negative degrees. We just went straight through, just, hey, fall, fuck you. And it was nuts because I was not prepared for it at all. And then it was like that for like a week or two. And then it just went backwards to like the end of summer. And then we started into fall again. And then we went back to cold winter. So, and this happened. So I've been in Colorado, a little over 2 years. And the weather seems to be consistently like fucked like that. Like you have no idea. It'll be so beautiful out, and then next thing you know, you get fucking 2 feet of snow. But the crazy thing is, then you get 2 feet of snow, and then you look out your window at like 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and the fucking sun comes out and just melts everything. And now you have grass again, like just wet grass. And the craziest thing about this area is when I moved out here, I wasn't sure like how the weather was going to be. I'm like, okay, I'm moving out in the mountains. I'm moving to the Midwest. You know, what the fuck is the weather going to be like? It is pretty much identical to Pennsylvania as far as seasons and snowfall and stuff like that. I mean, Pennsylvania can get a lot of snow, and so can Colorado. The main difference that I notice is a little bit of difference in humidity. And out here, you get a lot more sunshine. So you'll get like nice warm days in PA, but there's a lot more clouds, a lot more overcast. A lot more overcast. I feel like people say that's just a fancy way of saying clouds. Hey, look, there's clouds in the sky. No, son, that is overcast. Something I'll never say because I'm never going to have kids. Nah, but for real though, there's like so much sunshine. There's so much sunshine here. I fucking love it. My deck, so I have like a little deck that faces east, and you know, we all know that's where the sun rises, because when I was taught in school, I was taught sun enters in the east. Enter E, east E. And then I guess you just kind of know that it fucking sets in the west. I don't know if there's even like a phrase for that. Enters in the east and and weaves in the west. The sun enters in the east and weaves in the west. Mommy, did you know the sun weaves in the west side of the world and it enters in the east? But yeah, it's beautiful. So I get this like nice morning warm sun every single morning, and I've been flopping my schedule to have like a normal person schedule now. So I've been getting a lot of that morning sun, and it feels fucking good, man. Feels fucking good, man. But I went outside today. It was a little chilly today, and I went grocery shopping, man. And I picked up obviously a bunch of fucking meat. But let me tell you recently, so I order from this place called Kansas City Steaks, and if you guys are normals in my stream, you know that I talk about Kansas City Steaks all the time. I do tons of giveaways with Kansas City Steaks. And the fucking place is amazing. So, Kansas City Steaks, so it's stationed in New Hampshire and Kansas City. And it's stationed in New Hampshire, Kansas City, a small little suburb. And this place is amazing. So they basically, when they cut the meat, when they butcher the cow, they explain it on their brochure. I have one of the things around here somewhere. I just don't know where it is. They have this special packaging, and it just air fucking tight seals the meat instantly, like right off of the fucking cow, dude. Or right out of the dry age process, I guess, would be the better term. But as soon as the meat is like ready to be distributed, it's whoosh, sealed in this bag, so it doesn't really touch like any unnecessary air. And when you get it, they deliver it to you in this huge like styrofoam box, and it comes with all this fucking dry ice. It's amazing. They're like completely frozen, rock solid. But it's weird. Dry ice is fucking weird. I don't know how the fuck that works. Like, there's really nothing in there, but everything's fucking frozen. You're like, where the fuck is all the ice and shit? I just don't even bother with it. And you put the steaks in the freezer. I usually take one out and I put it in the fridge. So I recently tried. They have American Kobe ribeyes. Usually I don't get their American Kobe ribeyes because they're a little expensive, but I decided I was going to treat myself. So I bought them, and when I got them and they came, and oh my God, they look fucking amazing. I put one of the pictures on my Twitter. And then I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, dude, this quality of meat is like way better than anything else that I normally cook. And I don't want to fuck this up, because I spent a lot of money on each of these individual steaks, and if I fucking screw one of these things up, I'm actually going to be really upset with myself. So I started looking up online. I was like, what really is the best way to cook a piece of meat or a piece of American Kobe or Japanese Kobe or Wagyu, like high quality meat, what's the best way to cook it? And a lot of things really do recommend like some sort of grill. And I don't have a grill. So I looked in their brochure that they send you, and they give you a full, I didn't know that they had this, but they give you a full step-by-step of how to cook each of their cuts of meats and how they recommend thaw. Like, dude, they're fucking amazing. Kansas City Steaks. I love you guys. You guys are the best. So the way I used to cook steaks is this. I don't cook them like this anymore, and I'll tell you why. I used to take a piece of steak. I would measure its thickness, which I'm pretty good at like eyeballing. Or I do the little thumb trick. So as long as you keep your nails well groomed, if you bend your thumb at that first knuckle, like tip your thumb to your first knuckle, you'll have like these little grooves at the bend of your knuckle. And the little like groove that's closest to your nail, to the edge of your nail, is roughly an inch, give or take. And this actually will work for most hands, definitely male hands. If you're a chick and you just have the tiniest little fucking hands, it's probably not going to be too accurate. You'd probably have to go like top of your knuckle or something. But yeah, I know most of you guys are like, oh man, look at my thumb. But no, I use that and I sort of like eyeball it up. And then for every inch of thickness, I used to put it in the oven at 250 degrees for 20, or no, I actually lowered it. I did more like 16 to 18 minutes for like a nice rare. If I wanted extra rare, I would do more like 14 to 15. And then what I would do before that is I would put it on a cast iron skillet, super fucking hot, blast that thing, put the steak on there, sear the side like 50, 60 seconds. You don't really want this like gray strip to appear on both of the sides. You want to keep it as outside seared as possible and not going inwards to cook the meat. That's the whole point of high heat, so searing it quickly. And then I would sear the fat on the edges, and that kind of locks in all the juices. And then I would put it in the oven for the desired time. Let's just say 20 minutes. It was like an inch, a little bit over 250 degrees. I would slow cook it. I would take it out, and they're delicious, and I fucking love them. So I'm reading this thing, and they're saying that for an oven, you want to reverse grill it. They said broiling steaks in an oven is basically the same thing as like reverse grilling. So I'm like, okay, I never broil anything. I'm not a good cook. I fucking suck. I can cook meat for myself and I can cook stuff for myself. I'm not a picky eater. But so I'm like looking at it, I'm like, well, I guess that kind of makes sense, because if you're putting the meat like 3 inches from this freaking extremely red hot like coils on the top of the oven, you're pretty much, it's just like cooking steaks on a grill flipped upside down. I'm like, that makes perfect sense. So I do the same thing. I sear the each side of the American Kobe beef, and I was super nervous. I was like, oh my god, I don't want to fuck this up. This meat looks so good. You guys got to go on my Twitter and look at it. It was so fucking like marbly, and the fat was everywhere, and there's almost more white than there is fucking red. Oh, dude, it's just incredible quality of meat. And this is only American Kobe. I can't even imagine like what going to straight to fucking Japan and getting like the actual Kobe and Wagyu it looks like. Dude, it's ridiculous. So then after I sear it, I do the normal sear thing, and I took it out and I put it underneath of this broiling oven coils, and I did like 2.5 minutes one side, took it out, flipped it 2.5 minutes the other side. And when you put this thing under there, it is like immediate. As soon as you put it under, the whole thing starts fucking like bubbling and crackling. You can just see that thing is just searing that outside. And it's so much better that way, dude, because you're not putting it directly on a pan. So you're not like cooking the gray into the center of the meat. You're just putting it under really intense high heat, and it's like searing and blackening the outside even more, but it's not like cooking deep into the center. It's just applying some temperature to it. Well, a lot of temperature, but with like a distance. And then I flip it, like I said, do another 2.5, took it out. And dude, first one that I fucking cooked. Perfect, bro. Perfect. My knife was sliding into that thing like fucking butter, and you can immediately taste the difference. Like I put that first piece into my mouth, and you just get this explosion of just buttery fucking like, dude, just flavor, just fucking flavor. There's no, you know how sometimes you'll eat steak and it's kind of like, it's kind of like chewy, and you don't really taste this explosion of like tastiness, dude. Opposite of that. It was so fucking good, man. So I ordered 4 of them, and I've already fucking eaten 3, and I'm so mad because I only have 1 left. So when I went to the store today, I bought a bunch of like cuts from the butcher at the store that I went to. So they're gonna hold me off so I can just wait for this freaking Kobe, because dude, I didn't want to eat all 4, man. I didn't want to eat all 4 right away. I needed a drink because my mouth started watering. But it's like what I used to do with this elephant shit coffee. So I used to be huge in the coffee, to the point where I was drinking like 80 to 100 ounces a day. And it got to the point where I was drinking so much coffee that when I wouldn't drink coffee, I would get these crazy headaches. I'd get these pounding headaches. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? It's only when I don't drink coffee. Then I noticed, Sean, that's called fucking addiction. Your body is addicted to caffeine. And when you don't have caffeine, you have a physical addiction to it now, and your body doesn't function properly without the caffeine, which causes you to make poor decisions and make more coffee and drink more caffeine, which makes your addiction worse. And I was like, I'm literally getting addicted to a drug. And I don't like this at all, because I've never been addicted to any drug. I've always had the ability to control myself, or never put myself in a situation where physical addiction became a thing. So I had to stop. I basically went cold turkey and suffered through no coffee for probably like 6 to 8 months. And then I eventually got back into it. But during that time, I would get this stuff called, God, what was it? Was it Black Ivory? Hold on, I'm going to look this up. Black Ivory. Was it Black Ivory? Yeah, Black Ivory coffee. Dude, this shit's fucking nuts, man. So let me read what they do here. So I know what they do. So what they do is they pass the beans of the coffee through the digestive system of an elephant. And the beans, when they're in the stomach of the elephant can't digest the bean. But what it does is there's enzymes in an elephant's stomach that remove chemicals from the coffee beans. And they remove the chemical from the coffee bean that contains that real sharp, bitter taste, which I love in coffee. And I was really unsure. I'm like, you're taking away a very key component of coffee. Like, I like coffee for the taste. I drink it straight black. I don't put any fucking bullshit ass motherfucking sugar and cream in there, because you motherfuckers that think you like coffee, but then you go to the store and you get coffee and you're like, can I get 4 scoops of fucking sugar? And on top of that 4 scoops, can I get like another 8 and fucking creamer this and creamer that? And can you fucking cum in that shit? And then the bitch over there, she looks like a squirter. She's gonna fucking rubber cunt and squirt pussy juices and just, you don't fucking like coffee. You like pussy juice, cum, sugar, and cream. That's what you fucking like. You're just drinking coffee because either you want the caffeine, because it's cool to have coffee in the morning. I'm going to have my coffee while I sit at my desk and do my work. You don't fucking like coffee. I like coffee. I eat coffee from an elephant's asshole. That's how much I like coffee. So this bean... Sorry about that. So this bean comes out of the elephant's pooper. They pick it out of the shit. They clean it off. And they fucking package it up and they send it to you. And it's the world's rarest and most expensive coffee. It's like 50 some bucks per 6 ounce cup. And let me tell you, this shit is a whole nother level, bro. I don't let it touch a coffee machine. I put it straight into a French press. I French press the coffee myself, which is something that I had to learn to do, which is actually really easy. Just buy a good French press and get some boiling water, and boom, shpada bing, shpada bang, you got some fucking elephant poop coffee. But check it out if you got some extra money or you're just rich as fuck and I want to have some super rare expensive coffee, go for it. But my issue with that is I would buy like 4 things of it, so 4 cups. So it was like $200. And I'd drink 1 cup and I'd be like, dude, it was so small. I would stretch it a little though. I would make it like 7.5 ounces. I would make it a little bit more. So it wasn't diluted though. I wasn't diluted because I looked it up online. Like, can you stretch it? And they were like, yeah, you'll still get the same taste. Because I didn't want to drink like a 4-ounce cup in like fucking 2 seconds. So I was like, I'm just gonna put a little bit more water in there. But dude, fuck, it's fucking good, man. And I never wanted to drink it all, so I would drink like 2 or 3 right away, and I'd have 1 left, and I'd have to like drink all the shitty coffee in the meantime to take up the space, and then eventually I'd hold on to that one, and I'd eventually drink it. But fuck, man, I'm sitting here talking about Kobe beef and Wagyu and elephant butthole coffee, and now I'm getting all hungry and shit. There's another drink for the salivating mouth. I am not a picky eater though. Like, you might think, ew, that's fucking weird. Dude, I'll literally eat anything. I don't give a shit. Picky eaters actually kind of piss me off, if I'm honest. Picky eaters actually kind of piss me off. And sometimes it's not even the person that I feel like is to blame. It could be the person. It's like, I don't want that. I don't like mushrooms. It's fungus. They gross me out. I don't like the texture of this. I don't like the taste of that. Ew, I'm not going to eat this because this is on that. Go fuck yourself, man. Picky eaters suck. If you're a picky eater, you suck. You're fucking difficult to deal with. You're difficult to date. You're difficult to pick places to go out to eat with. You waste food. You don't fucking appreciate some of the finest delicacies in our country. You know what? You suck, dude. You suck. But I'm not going to blame all of you. Because it might have been the way that you were raised. Sometimes people have picky parents and they raise them to be picky eaters, and now you're a picky eater. And I think, and the thing that gets to me, here's another thing, is I feel like a lot of people that I've met that are picky eaters, quote unquote picky eaters, they're not actually, they just think that anything that they haven't tried, they just don't want to try it. Like, if they've never had something, be like, oh, do you want to try this? No, I don't like that. Oh, really? Well, have you ever had this? No. Well, then how the fuck do you don't know that you don't like it? I wouldn't like that. How do you know? You're like, they're people that are afraid to try new stuff, afraid to experiment with new foods. All they want is chicken nuggets and ketchup and fucking frozen homemade pizzas. Step outside of your comfort zone, man. Go to a Mediterranean restaurant and get some octopus leg. Get some fucking fried frog leg. Get a kangaroo burger. These things aren't even gross, but you probably think they are. Eat some seafood, man. Don't be afraid of fish. Fish is good. Fish is delicious. I would say, is there anything that I wouldn't eat? There are some things that if you left them off my food, I wouldn't be upset about it. So like beets. If you left beets off my food, I wouldn't be like, oh man, can I have another fucking sandwich, man? I want some beets on here, man. Beets are gonna make my food. I woke up this morning, I was like, man, I really want a beet sandwich, Mom. Now I come here and I got a sandwich. I got no beets. Can we make another sandwich and we put extra beets? Nah, I'd just be like, didn't put beets on it. Oh well, better luck next time. And I'd eat the sandwich, What's another thing? Like sweet pickles. Like those bread and butter or like sweet pickles. Like regular pickles are the shit. Super fucking salty, vinegar. Those things are good. I love pickles. But the sweet ones, they're almost like a little too much. They kind of like throw me off a little bit. I'm like, whoa, what the? Oh, these are sweet pickles. Well, I'll finish the one that I have. I'm probably not going to grab another one though. You know what I mean? Like that's sort of my attitude with food that I'm not crazy about. What else, dude? That's how hard it is for me to pick foods that I'm not crazy about. Oh, here's one. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. Mint chocolate chip ice cream. That whole flavor with like mint and chocolate mixed together. I'll eat it, but it throws me off. Like when I take a bite of a mint chocolate candy or when I take a bite of mint chocolate chip ice cream, it's kind of like, woo, like that flavor sort of like goes up through my nose. I'm like, oh, that's weird. That's strange. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll eat another one, but you know, it's definitely not going to be my fucking, if I murdered somebody and they were like, you get one more meal, I'm not going to be like, can I have mint chocolate chip ice cream, please? You know what I'm saying? That would be more like buffalo chicken wing or like a steak or lobster and a steak or something like that. That's the thing. If you were to get a last meal, man, fucking get a combination, man. If you want ribs, why not get the ribs combo? Ribs and Texas tenders with honey mustard. If I'm going to get a last meal, I'm not just going to get a steak. I'm going to say, can I get that Kobe steak with a buttery lobster on top? We'll call it surf and turf. And he's going to be like, no, you got to choose one thing. I'm like, surf and turf is a singular entree, my man. Don't get my fucking foot. I'll show you while I'm in here, motherfucker. Strats, guys. We got the fucking strats. Like, I literally eat shit that's expired. I had cheese the other day and it expired. Cheese, yeah, like things that are dairy is a very touchy subject when it comes to expiration dates. There was cheese that was expired for, what was it, like 4 or 5 days. And I was looking at it, I'm like, oh man, most people would not eat this. And I opened it up and there was one piece on the corner that was like blue and clearly mold. And I just tore off like that whole half. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, none of it looks moldy. Like I got rid of the one moldy piece and I fucking ate that shit and I fucking loved it and I'd eat it again. And next time I'd probably eat the fucking piece with the blue fur on it. I'll eat blue furry cheese. I don't give a fuck. This is a controversial topic. Here you go. Here's our first big yikes glad or Sean moment. So, I have put some thought into this for sure, as you can probably already tell. So let's say I go to a country, right? And in that country, it is totally normal to have hamster as an entree. Now for me, I'm an American. We don't eat fucking hamster in America, dude. We eat pretty much everything else. But we don't eat hamster. If I went to a country and hamster was an entree, but it was normal, it was a normal part of their culture. And it was just what you do. It was disrespectful almost to make fun of it. Like it's just it's like hamster to them is like chicken to us. And I go there and I want to, dive into their culture, sort of live like them, get to experience what it's like there, meet all the cool people, make a bunch of friends, fully just immerse myself into that culture. I'm going to fucking eat hamster. I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to be like, give me a hamster. Give me hamster's fucking seared asshole. I don't give a shit. Give me all the hamster. I'll take your menu, everything with hamster in it, fucking put it on my plate because I'm going to eat all the fucking hamster. You don't have it? We'll go fucking to Sally's house down the street, raising her little hamster for a 2nd grade school science project. You bring that shit over here, I'll fucking wring its neck. We'll put it on the plate. We'll call it ringed hamster, dude. All right. So now I go to a couple other countries. There's a couple other random shit. Now, here's where the big part comes in. Let's say I go to a country, maybe like a place in the jungle, some sort of tribe. And it is traditional and in their culture to eat human. My question is, would you do it? If so, why? And if not, why? And I've thought about this. I think really what this comes down to is it's not like immediately people are like, oh my God, fucking you're a cannibal. No, fucking, they just immediately think of that, but they don't really like think about it. I think it just really comes down to how you perceive it and where sort of how it revolves around your own moral compass. I think ultimately it comes down to morals. So, and you can tell I'm not still quite sure how I deal with the situation if I was put in it. But I think if it was part of somebody that was like, you know, blessed and spiritually blessed, and they died of natural causes, and we didn't fucking kill them or anything like that, and it was totally some like I don't what's the word, like ritual or practice, and it was totally normal, super disrespectful not to do it, I would probably consider it, or I would probably try it, and I just wouldn't really think about it. And as long as it wasn't in a super like fucked up fashion. Now if they did this thing where they sacrifice somebody and they're like and slit Johnny's throat up on a fucking stick and then ripped his legs off and fucking just bit right, like I'd probably be like, all right, that shit's a little fucking weird. But if it was like super delicate how they presented it and everything, I might consider it. And I know some of you motherfuckers out there right now are like, what the fuck, Glad? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? You cannibal motherfucker. No, dude. No. If you got trapped somewhere and your friend died and the only thing to keep you alive was to eat a part of your friend, like maybe his thigh, let's just think of the thigh or the arm, and you had to do it to live, would you do it, or would you fucking just die? Would you just say, fuck it, I give up, I'm going out, see you soon, Jesus? I'd eat my fucking friend, I'll be honest. I would. If it comes down to survival and I had to eat a piece of my friend who was dead, like this person died, like he's fucking out for the count. He got Leonardo DiCaprio fucking bared. He's dead. I would do it to survive. My survival instincts would kick in. My just primal being would come out, and I would do what I need to do to live. You know? I think that like that's definitely a different situation, but that's that's essentially two situations where I would eat a human being. Oh god. Ah. Freaking drawing that picture in my head right now, dude. Speaking of drawing, can't draw. All right, I can draw for shit, but I can't. Here's what I mean. If you give me a picture of something and you're like, yo, motherfucker, draw this shit right now, I can look at that, especially if it's like a cartoon. If it's like a real picture of somebody, like you snap it, you print out a freaking photo, you go do 1 hour photo at Kmart. Kmart don't even exist anymore. Are there any Kmarts left in the world? I don't even know. But I can copy like a cartoon drawing. Fucking so good, dude. So perfect. Like, that's my mathematical mind. I'm really good at keeping proportions and transferring information from one thing to another. I have like a really keen eye for that. And like, when I mean I'm good at it, I don't mean like I can fucking get a sketch. I mean, that shit is literally going to be like fucking perfect. I'll have to show you guys like some of my art that I was able to draw. But here's where the real art comes in. Here's where the real skill comes in. I can't draw from my fucking head. So I can think of something. Like, I can think of, Bugs Bunny. I know what Bugs Bunny is. I've seen Bugs Bunny. If you showed me a picture of Bugs Bunny, I would say, that's fucking Bugs Bunny. That is not Elmer Fudd. That is definitely Bugs Bunny. But I can't have that picture clear enough in my head without seeing it to be able to transfer that information to paper. And I think that that is a skill that is so like cherishable and so cool and so unique, and I like respect anybody that has that, and I think you should really value that ability, because it's something that like you just, some people might argue with me, like with enough practice and determination and shit, you'll be able to do it. Dude, I don't know, man. I think that's a skill that you just either have or you fucking don't. Like, I could probably work on it and I could probably get better at it, but ultimately when somebody says, I want you to draw a picture of somebody who's like super embarrassed, something really embarrassing just happened, like, I wouldn't be able to put that emotion on paper from my head. If you showed me a picture of somebody that's embarrassed, even if you showed me a real life picture, I could probably take the certain cues from a real life picture and apply it to a cartoon, but I don't have a vivid enough artistic memory to put that down onto paper. Now, I was a math major, so I don't know if that means that my mathematical mind and my artistic mind, but I feel like there's a lot of things with the artistic side of your brain that I am good at. Let me look that up. Artistic brain fucking side, I guess. I don't know. What is your, hold on. All right, here we go. So left brain function. So this is me. So this is analytical thought, logic, language, reasoning, science and math, written, numbers, right hand control. Like, dude, these are all, like, I agree. I agree with all these. Like, for me, right brain functions, art awareness. So I'm not exactly sure what that means. Creativity. Now, I can be creative, but definitely not as much as fucking imagination, intuition, insight, holistic thought, music awareness. I fucking love music though. And I am very like keen and analytical of music, but then we're going to analytical thought, which is left brain, 3D forms. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'd like to see like more activities, like artistic brain side activities. And see I don't know. But anyway, dude, I wish I could fucking draw from my head, dude. I really do. I really do. What was the other thought that I had when I was at the store today? Oh, today, dude. Today I just got hit with this big wave of, I guess, a combination of empathy and gratitude for a lot of things in my life. And this was really important, and it really hit me like pretty hard today. In a good way though, not like in a, it just struck me with, you know, when you're filled with all this gratitude and empathy and stuff, you just get this really cool feeling inside like your stomach, and you feel really warm and you just feel very thankful. And the first thing that popped into my mind is support while streaming, you know. And like I said, I don't want these podcasts to be just about gaming and just about my Twitch life and Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff. I want it to be just about like real fucking people talk. But this was something that came up today, and if you saw some of my tweets today, you'll see that I definitely mentioned it, and I showed some love and gave some shout outs, and I reached out with some DMs to some people and just thanked them. But dude, it actually blows my mind how insanely supportive and selfless and generous people are on Twitch. I mean, I don't know if it's just the Destiny community. I know the Destiny community, the community that I have, is just absolutely fucking ridiculous as far as support goes. Like, when I'm streaming, like, you guys see my reaction when people do crazy shit. Like, sometimes I don't even know how to talk. I'm just like, bro, fucking, I don't even know what to say, but thank you. And I just want chat to show love, and I just want as much like positivity as possible. But when I'm not streaming and these things pop into my head, I'm just like, holy fuck, dude. Like, people take, you know, I don't, like, however you get your fucking money, hard earned or not, that's none of my business. You're taking that money and you are using it on your own free will to support somebody at such a ridiculously high level. I mean, that I have so many people, so many regulars in my chat that spend so much of their hard-earned money on me, and I'm talking people that have, you know, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700 fucking gifted subs to me. Like, handfuls of people, dude. I'm talking piles of people. And I know who all these fucking people are. And and just every time they do it, they just surprise me. And some people do it like in bursts. Some people come in and I won't see them for like 3 months, and then they come back in and they're just like, boom, 100 subs, 100 subs, 100 subs, 100. They'll literally just dump 500 at a time. And then there's other people that just do like a little bit every day, and that shit fucking adds up over the course of like weeks and months. And I'm thinking, dude, like, you guys, so much fucking respect and so much adoration and just love and good energy coming from me to you and you to me, dude. And I really want, if anybody here is listening about it, that mutual feeling, you like, whatever makes you want to support me in whatever way, that feeling is returned like even heavier back to you, dude. And I'm not using this as a platform or as a medium to send this message to those people. I'm just kind of speaking like what was going through my head today. And that energy is so contagious. Like when I see a bunch of people support, it fucking gets me jacked up inside. And all that I want to do is I want to support. And so far this year, I've been doing so many like just giveaway. Like, I just don't even care. I'm like, oh, here, you need this? Here's a fucking giveaway. Join this giveaway. 3 of my friends from home, could be way more, are like, they have families, they're struggling, they can't come out to this Bass Nectar show in Colorado, which, by the way, you guys should all come. Freestyle sessions, look it up, bassnectar.net. And I just, without even thinking, I was just like, dude, fuck it. Just buy your plane tickets, send me a screenshot. I'll just Venmo you the whole thing. Like, I'll just pay for your tickets. And they're like, what? And I'm like, dude, I don't care. Fucking just, whatever. You can't get your ticket? I got you. Don't worry about it. I got your ticket. Like, dude, I just don't care about that stuff. And one thing I noticed is, and I had this with my job at GlaxoSmithKline, whenever I am doing things in my life, and let's say like making money in my life or working really hard and, seeing increased income in my life, all that I want to do is I want to like just help other people have fucking good times. And whether it's like coming out to party with me or just giving away giveaways on stream or helping people get emotes or like spending on my time, like I get such a high and such a good satisfaction of spending my money on other people. And I don't really know what it is. Like I like the reaction. Like, it's so cool to see people really break down and get really emotional. I've seen people cry. Like, it makes you feel that emotion, that empathy with that person. You feel them, and I really like that feeling. And I'm thinking, I'm like, is that weird? Is that selfish? And I'm like, no. If doing nice things for other people is what makes you feel good, I don't think that's selfish in any way. I don't, regardless of why I'm doing it, even if I am doing it just because it makes me feel good, if you're doing something because it makes you feel good, but what you're doing is a good deed to like the world, to humanity, I think that's a wonderful thing to have. And I think that's such a cool thing to be proud of and such a cool thing to ride throughout your life. And I've had those feelings return. I mean, I've been in situations when I first started streaming, I couldn't pay my rent. I almost got evicted. I was really struggling. And I've had family reach out to me and just, help me out and hand me stuff and be like, here, you need this, you need this. And I think that stuff comes in full circle. And, it also makes you feel good knowing that there's people out there that really care about you. But that energy, man, is contagious as fuck. Like, it's just so nice to just feel that all the time. And I really do feel that when I'm streaming. So I don't know, whatever. I don't know why I'm like that. I'm not complaining. I'm definitely not complaining. I'm not one of those stingy people with my money by any means. Not much of a planner. I'm very spontaneous. I like to live in the moment. If I want something, I just do it. It might come to bite my ass in the future. Later on, when I'm old, I might be like, fuck, man, I probably shouldn't have been such a dumbass with my money when I was younger. But I'm never going to look back on my life now when I'm like 65. I'm never going to look back on my life in my 20s and say, like, man, I really wish I didn't have all that fun. do all that cool stuff and give to people and receive from people. So I think a lot has to do with my parents though. My parents were fucking awesome. They really were. I my parents divorced when I was in like what? Gosh, 3rd grade, I think. I was young. I barely remember. Like I remember the divorce, I barely remember it. I just remember being really confused and like thinking, why do I live with my mom and visit my dad on the weekends? I didn't understand the whole like legal side of it. But I mean, regardless of who I lived with or who I have a better relationship with, my parents always were very like, my mom was definitely way more supportive of everything that I did than my dad. My dad was very sports, really cared about lifting and sports. I was definitely the most athletic of the 2 sons. I have a younger brother. So my dad put a lot of focus and push on that, which I'm glad that he did. But he also, like, things that I liked, for example, if I told him I was like, hey, Dad, I started skiing. You know, my mom would be like, cool, let's go out and get you a pair of skis and all that stuff. My dad would be like, well, you don't want to do that. You're going to hurt yourself and you're not going to be able to play baseball. It was, you know what I mean? It was like that sort of support, which as a kid, you notice that. And you're like, well, mom really supports like anything that I want to do. So you kind of start like leaning towards that for support. So I don't know. There's a life lesson that I learned, I guess. But they were always like super cool. I mean, I lived with my mom pretty much. I mean, she had custody of me, so I would visit my dad on the weekends. And then once we turned 18, we could make our own decisions and we could drive and all that stuff. So I visited him whenever I wanted to. Continued to live with my mom through high school and came back and lived with and stayed with my mom sometimes during the weekends in college. But the way that my mom raised me was, if I got good grades and I wasn't getting in trouble, my mom let me get away with a lot of stuff. So, like, and I would do some, I do some fucked up shit. I think I might make one of these just because I'm trying to keep these around an hour, but I think I might make one of these one time where I just tell a bunch of fucking high school and college stories. So stay tuned for that one. That'll just be the whole fucking stream, or the whole podcast. But like, I would do a lot of fucked up shit, but as long as I didn't get in trouble with the cops or didn't do anything stupid or hurt people or get bad grades, I was pretty much like, my curfew really didn't exist. My mom would go to bed and I could pretty much just like sneak in the house late at night at any time, 2:30, 3 in the morning on school nights. And she never like would check to see if I was in bed before she went to bed. She was just like, oh, I know Sean will be home. He's fine. He'll make it to school. He has good grades. Like, I was a straight A student in high school. I was a Dean's List, I had a 4.0 a couple semesters, but I didn't hold a 4 the entire stay at college. There were a couple semesters where I took some weird classes because it was a liberal art school, so I had to take random shit. Wasn't really interested. Had like, 3 5s or whatever. But my overall GPA was, I forget, but it was somewhere between a 3.5 and a 4 when I graduated. So I could have done better. Wasn't super happy with it. Would have liked it to be above a 3.85, which it wasn't. It was a little under that. But I graduated with a mathematics degree. But the point was, as long as I kept good grades and wasn't in trouble, my mom let me get away with a lot of shit. And I think that really taught me a lesson of like responsibility. I mean, I think with a parent, from what I noticed, now I'm no parent, so don't take this the wrong way. Like, what's this fucking guy doesn't have kids trying to preach to, I'm not preaching, I'm just telling you what I learned. I think as a parent, what I learned is that my mom did a really good job, I mean, and my dad too, of meeting that middle ground of being a friend, but also being a guardian. So if your parents are like too protective of you and way too strict and don't really let you do anything, it's not good. It creates a weird relationship, and it creates the ability to sort of be rebellious and do things that you're not supposed to do. And if your parents are too friendly, like, I had some friends that would just take their fucking dad on the roof and they just sit there and they'd smoke pot all fucking day, like all through high school and middle school. Like, their parents just didn't give a shit. I'm like, okay, well, now you're not really like guiding your child. Now, my parents wouldn't sit there and smoke pot, but they also weren't like, you must be in at 8 p.m. every day. They let me do what I want, but they, controlled me with girls, controlled me with drugs and alcohol, made sure that I was guided, asked a lot of questions, had open conversations about sex. You know what I mean? They really made sure that they were teaching me the ways of life and teaching me responsibility and doing good deeds, but at the same time, letting me live my life, letting me go do things and letting me have fun and letting me experience my childhood. And I thank them so, so very much. So very much for the way that they raised me. And my mom is a freaking angel, and my dad's a cool dude as well. And so I think parents are a super important part of growing up. And if you have really good parents, you should be very thankful for them. And you should, right now, go give them a hug. Go pause this. Go give them a hug. Say thank you for everything. I really appreciate you, being who you are. I'm really happy that you're my mom. I'm really happy that you're my dad. And if you don't have good parents, I think it's important to recognize that and, really develop the ability to deal with things on your own. I mean, become more independent, learn to deal with things on your own. So look for people that'll be good influences on you. Maybe look for people that have good parents. Go hang out there, meet their parents. Surround yourself with some really good energy, some really good attitudes, some really good people, some really good other parents. And I think you'll be fine, man. I know a lot of people that turned out to be really, really, really good, positive, responsible people that had really shitty upbringing. So don't lose hope, man. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. What are we at? Oh shit, we still got to do a couple questions. Fuck. All right, let's do some questions. Oh, I did want to say, so we have Game of Thrones coming up. Season 3. I'm sorry, episode 3, season 8. I read this thing and it said it's going to have the longest battle sequence in any movie or TV series history. And he said it's going to be longer, like double the time, the director of the Helm's Deep assault in Lord of the Rings. Bro. Dude. I am super fucking stoked. First of all, huge Lord of the Rings fan. Ginormous Lord of the Rings fan. And I can't even imagine, what this episode's going to be like. These first 2 episodes have been such a build-up. I'm going to try to keep this spoiler-free for anybody that hasn't seen it, but this next episode, episode 3, if you listen to this after episode 3, I haven't seen it yet. It hasn't come out yet. I cannot wait, dude. I hope it is just brutal, and I know people are gonna die off, and dude, I'm so fucking amped about it. I'm so fucking amped. But hey, let's get to questions. Let's root through. I save all of them. So let's just pick one here. If it's something I can answer quickly, I'll answer. Okay. This guy says, I'm not going to do any names. Hey, dude, saw your tweet about podcasts and questions, so I figured I'd send you one. I recently heard that you streamed with 1 to 3 viewers for about a year and a half. I hadn't known this about you and thought as someone who's in that spot right now, it would be cool to hear about your experience. Yeah, dude, for sure, man, for sure. First off, if you are, I don't know how long you've been streaming or you're in that area, but keep on trucking, man. Keep on trucking, because we all got to start somewhere. But yeah, when I first started streaming, it was literally to just 2 of my friends because they wanted to see me do random shit or play puzzle games. And they were like, dude, just create a Twitch account. I didn't really know much about Twitch. This was right around when Destiny 1 launched or whatever. And it started with a friend or 2. And then it was a friend of a friend. They would bring somebody in and be like, hey, this is one of my good buddies. And then randomly, some random person popped in my chat. And I had never really been used to that. I was still really a noob to Twitch. I mean, I didn't really get into Twitch until Dark Below of Destiny 1. And I was just like, oh, hi. Yeah. Hi, my name's Sean. I'm just chilling here gaming. And then I remember I started streaming Destiny, and then Abby, if she ever listens to this, she's a sweetheart. She lives up there with Chris in Canada, and he was one of the original people that started doing artwork for my channel. And I was just like, dude, I'm just gonna be super nice to whoever comes in here. And it was just kind of like my friend and Abby, and then like uh, her boyfriend and stuff like that. And then I just started asking about their life, and then found out that they had a kid. And I just kind of formed this like relationship that I thought was really cool. I was like, oh, this is actually really cool. You can form a relationship through a chat. So they were like, hey, are you going to be streaming tomorrow? And I was like, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't going to. And like, you should. We really like hanging out. We just put you on our TV while we're like playing with our kid. And I was like, oh my God, like this is really cool. They fucking care that I'm on. So I sort of took that and I was like, dude, people like, even though this is only like one or two people, they actually want me to come on. So I woke up the next day and I was like inspired, and I got back on streaming, and I was super welcoming. And then next thing you know, like somebody else comes in and they're just like, hey, what's up? And I was like, hey, and I just immediately wanted to know about them. I'm like, dude, I already know Abby and Chris. Like, what's up? What's your story? What's going on? And it was just one person at a time. I just was very welcoming and very accepting and very curious about what's going on and what they're doing and why they're watching me. And at the same time, I had started uploading to YouTube. So I was, growing my YouTube channel, which at the time was very small. I mean, like less than 50, less than 100. And then as I started doing some more crazy stuff, I started using Reddit as a platform to post some of my videos. And then eventually, over months and months, or maybe even years, YouTube hit 1,000. And then I would link my Twitch clips in my YouTube channel, and then I would go back on Twitch, and then people would be like, "Oh, dude, you're the dude that did this, right? I saw you on Reddit." And that was like 5 viewers, 8 viewers, 10 viewers. And then um and then I started up a stream one time, and I started doing like rock band drums and stuff like that. And I had literally no following on Twitch really, but I remember that when I did the rock band things, I had like 20 people in my chat, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I just kept sticking with it and started building. I think the important thing is I was building on Reddit, I was building on YouTube, I was getting ready to start up a Twitter, I was streaming, I was doing like all these different things at once, and I kept using each of the platforms to sort of build and piggyback on itself, doing things that were really creative. And I didn't care about my view. Like, yeah, I was like, oh my God, why are like 15, 20 people watching me do this? This is really cool. But like, I'm not worried about the numbers. I'm just doing this because these people want to see it. I think that's the key there. Is I was streaming because I liked the idea of being like entertainment for somebody that really wanted me there, somebody that was like counting on me there. And that really inspired me because they were counting on me. I was counting on them to be in chat, and you just started to create this relationship. And I think that relationship and that bond between, friends on the internet is actually a really strong one. And I'm really excited to meet a lot of people at GuardianCon this year that I've developed relationships with over the past year. But I mean, that answers your question about how I started streaming at really, 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 really low numbers. And I was pretty much doing that for a good all the way until the end of Destiny 1 when they released the what was it, 390 raids. They took all the raids and was it 390? Can't remember. And they bumped them up to the highest power. And I was like, okay, I'm going to start streaming again, but I'm going to like try to get people from my YouTube to show up, and I'm gonna say, hey, let's do all these cool raids, like when all my clanmates had left, and let's just like play raids with people from chat, all these people that I'd been forming relationships with. And I think at that time it was like 25, 30 people. And from there the rest is history. I'm not gonna tell the whole story unless it comes up, but yeah, man, be super welcoming, pay attention to every viewer, even if it's one person, two people, three people, 10 people, 50 people, 500 people, 1,000 people, 40, like, always show as much love as you possibly can. And people are attracted to a welcoming environment. Ugh, I went way off on that one. Jesus. Do a couple more here. Glad, my question for your podcast is, what's your favorite 80s action movie? See, you spelled favorite with an O-U. Favorite 80s action movie? Ish. I don't know if I have a favorite. Let me just what comes off the top of my head. Fucking Rambo. Love the Rambo movies because Sylvester Stallone was such a huge inspiration to me growing up with the Rocky movies, and then I got into his Rambo movies when I was a little bit older. Those Rambo movies are so good, and dude, Rambo, I think it's 3. My man is fucking ripped, dude. Like he just gets more ripped. Rambo 1, he's not that. He's definitely in shape, obviously. But Rambo 2, he gets more cut up, and then Rambo 3, that motherfucker. When they do that like stick fighting scene in the very beginning, he is so fucking shredded. Love those movies. Terminator. Fucking grew up watching Terminator. I mean, Judgment Day is definitely my favorite. I don't know what year that came out, but I'm pretty sure the original Terminator was definitely like mid 80s. What else? Indiana Jones, dude. Indiana Jones. Those movies crack me the fuck up. The old ones do. Oh, they crack me up, dude. Because they're just like typical over the top acting, 80s like acting, comic relief, and the action scenes are so fucking over the top. I love them, dude. I fucking love them. Okay, hey Glad, about the podcast question thing. How do you want your steaks, medium rare or done? Definitely rare. I would take them even more than rare. Division 2, Destiny 2, Anthem. Honestly, dude, I hate when people ask that question. They're like, Anthem or Destiny? Like, I mean, Destiny is definitely my favorite of the 3. No offense. And then he says, do you recommend Sekiro Shadows Die Twice for someone who has never played any of these games like Dark Souls? Dude, absolutely. I mean, like I thought I found the game to be more difficult. If you're looking for a traditional Souls experience, you're not going to get that with Sekiro. You'll get a taste of the difficulty and sort of how the game progression goes, but the way the combat is in Sekiro is definitely different than Dark Souls. If you play it like Dark Souls, you're going to lose like terribly. So if your plan is to do that to warm up for Dark Souls, I'd probably do the Dark Souls games first. Because if you try to play Dark Souls like Sekiro, you're also going to fail miserably. Dark Souls is all about reading boss attacks, dodging, getting hits in. Sekiro is all about parrying and breaking posture. So, but yeah, I mean, definitely the game was wonderful. I very much enjoyed it. So go for it. I would love to hear about how you got into gaming and what you were like when you were younger. So when I was younger, I played a lot. I went outside a lot. I was definitely not a like closeted kid. I did not sit on a computer ever. But what I did get addicted to when I was younger was N64 Ocarina of Time. And that was like the first thing that got me super, super, super addicted. But before that, it was like Nintendo, and I would just kind of casually play here and there, Mario with friends and stuff. But Ocarina of Time was like the first game that I felt that feeling where I just could not fucking wait to get home from school to play it. Like I just would sit there in school like, what time is it? What time is it? And I just couldn't fucking get home. So that was like my first big addiction. And I would say Ocarina of Time is definitely the reason that I was like, hey, maybe there are some fucking cool ass video games out there. And then I got into Mario Kart. Mario Kart was interesting with me because I later in college mastered Mario Kart, like got really, really good at it. And I might still be good at it. I think I want to do a Mario Kart stream at some point. But I mean, after Ocarina of Time, then it was Majora's Mask and a lot of Turok and a lot of gaming with my family doing GoldenEye. And then PlayStation was when I got into Tomb Raider, and then Tomb Raider got me into like the puzzle, like more of the puzzle stuff that I had learned from Zelda, and I was like, dude, I really like where this is going. And then I got into GTA, and then I went through a phase where I was into sports games because I was big into sports growing up as well. And then pretty much I slowed down on video games a lot in high school because I got real heavy into partying. Yeah, I got like big into partying, and then I was really into like girls through middle school and high school as well. So that was like my big focus. So I definitely didn't game as much, but then I did start playing Call of Duty. in high school as well. And then I got real heavy into Call of Duty in college. So I was a massive partier in college, but any free time that I had was Call of Duty and Mario Kart. We used to have these Mario Kart tournaments, and we'd freak out. And so funny story. So I got this fucking letter, and it was like, you must come to the housing department at your school. I went to Albright College in Reading, Pennsylvania. And I was like, what the fuck? So I go there, and she's like, listen, this is the second time that we have a complaint about you. She's like, what's going on? We are getting complaints that people are hearing you screaming through the floor at like numerous hours throughout the night. And she's like, what's going on? And I looked at her and I was like, I mean, do you want me to tell you like the truth, or like, because it's going to sound stupid? She's like, tell me the truth. And I was like, kid you not. It was this chick. Her name was Jennifer, I actually remember. And I was like, it's freaking blue shells, man. My freaking first place. And I get hit with freaking blue shells. And bananas are freaking skit me. And I'm hitting myself with my own green shells. And dude, I just like won off. And I was like, Mario Kart. And she just looks at me this whole time. And she just gives me this stare. And then we sit there for silence for like 5 seconds. And then she leans in and she just goes, honestly, the bananas are really freaking annoying. And I was like, see, the freaking bananas suck. I hate them every time I'm freaking hitting my own green shells and slipping on bananas and losing races. And she's like, listen. I think we had a thing here. Totally get it. She's like, but seriously, you cannot be screaming, because if you get a third, this is your second one. We got 2 reports on you. We let the first one slide because we know you're a good student. She goes, if you get 3, we have to kick you out of the dorms, or whatever the fucking term is. Fiction. It's probably not eviction. And I was like, okay. I mean, it didn't stop us from yelling. We tried to locate the neighbors. Typical fucking college idiots. One night we're like, yeah, we knocked on the door. We're like, listen, man, if you guys are the ones that complain, we're sorry. We're just playing Mario Kart. You know, we try to like make friends with them. We're like, fuck you guys. But I mean, yeah, as a kid, I was not like a huge closeted nerd or anything like that. I've always been very nerdy, but yeah, I don't know. Okay. God, these questions are actually fun. I didn't think the questions would be that fun. Maybe we'll do like an hour and a half today. Hi, Glad. Newer to the stream, but I love what you've been doing. Any chance you could talk on the podcast about how you got on with life after high school? Like, how did you manage to get yourself together? Or maybe you already were. Currently trying to organize my life into something more stable, and I'd be interested to hear how you went about it. I like that question, man. I like that question. So when I came out of high school, I had no fucking idea what I wanted to do with my life. I mean, 0. I had tons of interests. I was good at a lot of things. I played multiple sports. You know, I definitely had like my head on straight because I knew what my priorities and responsibilities were, but I had no direction. The only direction that I had in life was, you're going to college. That's it. Like, my mom was just like, so what? It was not, do you want to go to college? It was, where do you want to apply? Do you want to apply far? Do you want to apply close to home? And I just said, I'll just apply close. And, whoa. Ooh, one tastes a little meaty. And I made the stupid mistake of saying, I'll just commute to school. It's really close. Won't be a big deal. Fuck it. Yeah, massive mistake. I didn't know what my major was going to be. Then I'm like, okay, well, now what do you want to major in? I said, well, fucking let's just pick something really hard so that, like, because I know myself. I know how I party. I was like, let me pick something hard to keep me focused so that I don't party too crazy, get out of control. Like, I gotta make sure that I keep myself somewhat responsible. I give myself a difficult major, so I chose straight mathematics, not math education. I was just like, let me just do math. Let me do every math course that you guys offer, which was a lot, obviously. And I went to school and I made sure, once again, that I always like grades came first. And I think that that's the most important thing. And even if it's not college, whatever you're doing, whatever work you're doing, if you're in school, like make sure that main part of your life, whether it's education or income, is your priority. You got to make sure that that's your priority. That has to be the first thing that is sure that it gets done. And then after that comes the playing and the hanging out and the partying and the fucking, the sucking and whatever, dude. You know, I think that was one thing that I always made sure that came first, is keeping my head on straight, keeping good habits out of it. Because if you're trying to organize your life and your priorities get mixed up, things are going to get confusing real fast. Things are going to fall behind real fast, and you're going to struggle trying to get your head back above the water. Whereas if you stay on top of things and you address things and you don't ignore things, I used to have a habit of, I mean, I still kind of do, but I know when I'm doing it is the important thing. Is if something was bothering me or I didn't want to deal with something, I would just kind of ignore it and just say, it'll go away. It never goes away, man. It never goes away. You got to step up. You got to do stuff you don't want to do. You got to address things you don't want to do. You got a fucking bill to pay. You got a relationship you got to fix. You got, whatever, something to study for. You don't want to do it. You got to do it. Whenever your brain's telling you that you don't want to do something, those are the things that you got to fucking do. Because when you get done with them, you feel so good. You feel so accomplished. You feel so inspired. You feel so successful. You feel good about yourself. You have a lot of pride in what you did. You feel like you just get, dude, it's, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Go do something this week that you have been putting off, and that feeling when you're done, that you can breathe, that anxiety goes away, that weight is off your shoulders. And I made sure to always keep my head on straight as far as that goes. When I graduated college, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. If I took an actuarial exam, but I realized real quickly, I don't want to sit in a desk all day. So I think it's important too to analyze, okay, would you be happy here? Is this fit your personality? Are you a quiet person? Do you not like people? Would you do well in an office desk job, cubicle job? Do you want to be out walking around? Do you want to create your own schedule? Are you good at sales? Are you good at talking to people? Do you have good customer service skills? How are your managerial skills? How, what are your interests? Do you like sports? Do you like art? Do you like music? What sort of people do you know? Really sort of just analyze your life and think about, what direction am I really looking to do? What might be fun? Put together a kick-ass resume. If you're not fucking smart enough to put together a resume, even if you didn't go to college, fucking hit up a friend. Be like, yo, help me out here, man. Like, let's put together a nice resume. Anything that you've done in your life, any accomplishments at all, put it on there and learn how to sell yourself. I think that's the most important thing with resumes, is when you go to interviews, you're there for one reason and one reason only. You're not there to ask questions about the job. You're not there to learn about the job. You're not there to make best friends with the person. You're there to fucking sell yourself. You're there to say, this is me. This is what I am. This is what I'm good at. This is everything that I'm proud of. I'm not a piece of shit. I have my head on straight. I'm not cocky. I'm not arrogant. I'm very confident. I'm very proud of my achievements. And this is why I think I would be better than any other person that's going to walk in this room today. And you got to fucking keep your chin tucked, your chest high. You know what I mean? You got to be confident about everything and learn how to sell yourself and practice it and rehearse it and rehearse it and rehearse it and fucking rehearse it. Learn the STAR approach: situation, task, action, result. Anytime somebody asks you a question about, what would you do here? This is the situation. This is the task that I would try to accomplish. This is what I would do to do that. And this is the result that I would hope to get. And if I didn't get that result, this is what I'm going to do to fix it. And just learn to walk yourself through every scenario and be really good at interviews and really good at putting together a resume and really good at wording things. And if you're trying something in life and it doesn't work out and you hate your job and you're just not fucking happy, you don't like your manager, you're not getting the recognition that you deserve, you know what? At least in America, I mean, you got to remember, I lived in America my whole life. You can do whatever the fuck you want, man. And if you're in that same situation where you're not held down and you can choose where you want to go, then fucking leave. If you have an option do it. If you're in America and you don't like your job, you can quit. It might suck for a bit, and you can't just say, fuck it, I'm just gonna quit and be totally stupid and not have any money and not have any income and not have anything set up. And no, don't do that. Like, you can't do everything that you set your mind to. You can do everything that you set your mind to within reason, and if you have the resources to do it. So if you're able to save up some money, if you're able to take a severance pay, if you're able to snag another job on the side and then quit that job, do whatever it takes to get yourself out of an unhappy situation. And think of it like this: that job that you just had that you quit is now another step on your resume. It's another bigger and better step, and talk about everything great that you did. And why'd you quit the job? Be ready to answer that question, because a lot of people say, like, well, why did you leave? I think a super easy answer to that is, I know what I'm capable of, and I know what I'm looking for in my career path, and that job just wasn't challenging me enough. I'm looking for something that is more challenging and is more stimulating for my aspirations in my career. And they'll be like, oh shit, like, he wants some fucking work on him. Turn everything into a positive and a stepping stone. So I hope that helps, man. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but hopefully okay, I have 2 questions here. One about college, one about high school. I'm going to skip those because I'm going to save those for another thing. If you're a Pokemon fan, what is your favorite generation? Definitely Gen 1, dude. The original 150, man. The original 150. All right, this is going to be the last one, chat. Last one. Hey, man, for your podcast, I really always admired how helpful and selfless you are with the people around you. It's an inspiration to me. Could you talk about how you got there spiritually? I strive for the positivity and complete care for those around me, and I want to know how you got to be the person you are today. Hey, dude. So I'll start by saying this. I think a lot of this sort of theme and topic has come up. I talked a lot about this in the middle when I was talking about the sub-gifting and the contagious energy and my parents. I'm not going to go back and re-talk about all that. I think you already probably got a really good idea of how I arrived to be the person that I am today. But briefly, I had parents that taught me a lot of good values and all about responsibility and morals and stuff like that. And I think when was it? Basically halfway through college, I really sort of stepped back and I took a look at some things that were bothering me with certain people that rubbed me the wrong way. And I was analyzing, okay, why do these people rub me the wrong way? And one common thing that I noticed is egos and ego trips. And if you ask how I arrived to how I am today spiritually, I would say I have definitely over the years really grounded myself and am able to sort of catch and stop my ego if it decides to go on a trip. Now, I am not saying I don't have some sort of ego. That I think everybody has some sort of ego. It's really what sort of builds on some of your confidence and what makes you, a fucking person or a male or something like that. Like, all of it's built into you, but you need to really be aware of that and catch yourself when it's going wrong. And one of the most important things that I noticed is everybody around you. If you just think, you're sitting wherever you're sitting right now. Everybody around you, think about it. Right now, I'm in an apartment. There's a family below me. There's families all around me. There's a huge apartment complex. There's houses across the street, huge neighborhood. Like, what's everybody doing right now? Whatever. Somebody's watching TV. Somebody's eating dinner. Somebody's recording a podcast. Somebody's gaming. What's going on in their life? What are their struggles? How are they doing financially? What's their family? What's their relationship like? What's their relationship with their kids? Are they depressed? Are they happy? Are they getting married? Everybody has all these different things, and everybody, we're not all the same, and we're not all exactly equal. If everybody was perfectly equal and was just everybody looked the same and was equal and had the same outlooks and everything, you lose this individuality, and like we just wouldn't be the race that we are. Everybody's their own unique, special individual, and we don't always know what's going on in everybody else's life, and to sit there and think, oh well, this person has all these issues and he's down here and I'm making more money than him and I'm happier than him, so I'm better than him. Like, fuck that guy. I don't need to associate with that guy. He looks weird. This person has long hair. I don't associate with people. He's got too many tattoos. You need to realize that everybody has their own story, and just because you're making more money or you are prettier or you're more handsome or you have nicer clothes or you have better parents or you have a more desirable job or you have a hot wife, doesn't make you any better of a human being than anybody else on the planet. And that's huge. And that's a big thought, to realize that everybody on the planet is together moving as a big unit. And we're all moving somewhere. We don't know where we're going, but everybody's moving together. And we shouldn't think about ownership and who's doing this and who's better than who. We should think about, we're all in it as a fucking group. We're all in it as a team. We're all stomping to the same beat. And when you implant that idea into your head, I think you will have profound awakenings and epiphanies about yourself and about your ego. And when you look at somebody next that you might judge, you won't judge them. You might consider that something is different. You might consider that there's other things going on in their life. You might consider that this person isn't better than you and you're not better than them. You're two different individual special people. And I think if I'm going to carry anything forward or anything to sort of sum up everything, that would definitely be it, man. And that's one of the reasons that I love music festivals. Is when you're at a music festival, it's everybody is all there for the same reason, stomping their foot to the same beat, all there to have a good time, judgment free, individuality exposed, egos drown. Yeah, so we definitely want super fucking deep there to end it off, but take a sip of water. So that's it. We're gonna close it up there. We went an hour and a half. All right, dude. Well, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed it, though. I guess we'll continue to call these the Glad to Meet You. I'll try to get more of these out for sure. At least 2 a month. Maybe we can try to do 1 a week. But let me know what you think, man. I mean, comment below for sure. Let me know your ideas on some of the topics. I mean, all in friendly nature, of course. If you're just going to be a complete asshole about something that I said, at least word it in like a intelligent, constructive way, please. And just be like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about. Now someone's going to comment that for sure. Nothing that I say here is the fucking, I never claim to be the know-it-all, be-it-all, man. Never do. I never claim to be the best at anything. I always try my hardest at everything that I do, and I'm proud of the things that I do, and I'm proud of the people that I surround myself with, and I think that's the most important thing. So yeah, with that note, I will see you guys on the next episode, and I hope you guys take care of yourselves, whatever you decide to do for the rest of the day, night, whenever you listen to this. And there's a little motto that I have on my streams that I always end most of my streams with. They're pretty much all of them. Most important thing to remember is to always be you. Take care, guys. Peace.